y'all for being here today. We'll take questions for Coach.
All right, Coach. So you mentioned after the game that you were going to go back and kind of evaluate how things went. What did you see when you take a look back at that game?
Yeah, I saw a lot, and we'll start, with the offensive side of the ball. And I thought offensively we were explosive at times. It just continues to be turnover, shooting ourselves in the foot. And, I think that if we can eliminate those things, then we'll be good. I thought both quarterbacks did a nice job at times moving the ball, used their feet, which both of them are super capable of. I thought some of our wideouts, showed some big playability down the field. Running backs did some good things. So there were some bright spots there. And then moving over to the defensive side of the ball, started extremely slow on the defensive side of the ball. And so that's something that we have to get fixed. And we know there's a lot of things we got to get fixed. We spend a lot of hours up here, working and grinding at this, and this is our life. This is what we do, and we take great pride of that. And even though it might not look like it, and I thought that it was a time for us collectively as a team that we have to reset, what my vision of this program looks like, and that falls on me. I know that, but our discipline. Our trust in what we're doing right now isn't working. And so, the definition of insanity is do the same thing over and over. And so, we're getting free hitters on defense side, and we're not tackling well. And so, challenge the coaches this week, challenge both sides of the ball, offense not to turn the ball over, challenge the defense that we have to do a better job. I mean, I thought starting extremely slow is something that we got to get fixed over there, because I thought they settled in the first half. We gave them a pick six, and then really they only had 3 points besides the first drive. So played some pretty good defense there in the first half. And then what changed in the second half is something that we have to get figured out. I mean, unacceptable for a team to be able to run the football for almost 7 yards a pop. And that's something that we got to get fixed, and we got to get addressed immediately. And, and so this is a group effort. This is on everybody, and I know it starts with me. I'm the guy leading the charge on this whole entire program. And so, I think that our effort was good, right? And which is even the more troubling part is we have to get guys in better positions to make plays. And if a kid can't do it, then we're going to have to do something different and figure that out. And so, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of things that are issues right now, and I think our momentum as a program is not in the best spot right now. I mean, that's obvious to see, and that's something we have to get addressed and fixed. And we got to find the people that believe in our vision and what we do, and we have to find those guys and that want to be a part of the solution, not the problem. Obviously, there's a lot of problems, and I understand that as a leader of this thing, and so. So yeah, we need to figure out who's on board. We're not making any excuses. I'm not making any excuses for what's going on right now. I mean, we're not going to have anybody show up right now that's not on this program that's going to magically help us out. So we got to find a way to pull together, to be more mentally tough, and to be able to execute at a high level.
How are you guys health-wise? I saw that it looked like you guys pulled the Kaika off the depth chart after.
Yeah, we'll just evaluate him right now. I mean, he's been in and got a bunch of things going on as far as getting some scans of what he has going on with the play. I think everybody saw there he had a great run in the middle and kind of jumped and landed on his leg awkwardly. So we'll try to figure that out in the next couple of days. We got 3 other guys that have done some really good things, and Io and Isaiah. And Oscar, I thought Oscar came out and played well. I saw his competitor. He's finally getting back to himself right now. He had some good energy on the sideline, which was great to see. And too, we gotta fix the energy on the sideline. I mean, that'll be a big emphasis this week as well, as far as when things are going good. Then we're happy-go-lucky, and we can't be front runners. If one bad thing happens, it can't take the air out of everybody over there and expect bad things. So. That's something else we got to get fixed, is just the overall energy on our sideline.
Did seem to get the running game going just a little bit there in Florida. Just how important is that going forward for y'all to kind of get the running game and the ground game kind of going?
Yeah, it's going to be essential. I mean, I thought we were pretty balanced offensively. I think it was. I made a key mistake in calling a timeout early on in that game. I owned that, told the kids that, and something where we needed that timeout late in the game. And so, but yeah, anytime we can be balanced, establish a run game, I think it opens, everything up for us. And I think, kind of our first drive, I thought was a really good drive we put together. We executed put ourselves in some good third and short situations, and then we're able to get, some first downs even on fourth down and convert and keep a drive alive. And so we'll continue to want to be balanced. And, and I think once we can do it, we got some wideouts that have won down the field in these first two games. So that's been a bright spot for us.
You mentioned the running game that you did get it going there, but through 2 games, you guys only have 200 yards from all your running backs combined. And those guys rushed for 2391 last year. Is there something you guys are you guys struggling to get them going, or is there something you need to do to get those 4 guys going the way they were last year?
No, I mean, I think that, and that wasn't all them rushing too. I mean, there's a bunch of rushes with Kalon and a bunch of around the edge stuff on it. And so we're not talking about last year around here anymore. And I made that really evident during our team meeting this week is this team's not last year's team. And we can go through the roster and we can look at that together. And I think that's part of our problem is we're hung up on last year at times around here. And so I have no clue. I haven't gone back and studied that from last year. I think that we did not effectively run the football in the first game. And I think that we, through our running backs and through our quarterbacks, I thought we did run the ball well at times. We're able to establish it. And do we need more explosives? Yeah, I mean, I think we need a couple more explosive runs. And same guys. I mean, I think we had a couple bad reads on a couple of them, running back wise, and then we had a couple I think just kept drives going and got us into it. And I think the quarterback run game was a big part of it.
You mentioned a little bit about the defense in the second half and how it didn't do as good as it did in the first half. Just looking back on it, what happened, and how is this an issue that you guys are going to amend for going forward?
Yeah, it's something we got to get figured out. We got to get figured out in a hurry. I think a mixture of people not reading their keys, bad eyes, and when they're not in the run fit, they're coming down playing run, and they're able to hit some passes on us, and then vice versa. I think we got some kids in the run fit, and they weren't able to make plays, and that's been evident in the last 2 games, right? Is tackling, and so it'll continue to be stressed. We'll continue to work on tackling. If anybody has any suggestions on how to get better at tackling besides tackling, I'll be sure to read my emails if you could send those to me. And so, yeah, and I think too, in us as coaches, we got to find out if they can't do what we're asking them to do, then we're going to have to figure that out. Like, I mean, we're here for a reason. That's our job is to do that and to learn how to stop these offenses and to get them on the ground. And so, at some point, we got to figure out, and not just say, hey, our guys can't tackle, and we got to figure out, hey, do we move to putting them in a different position somewhere?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that after the game. Whether it's a scheme issue, a personnel issue, or what the issue is defensively. Now that you had some time to look at it, did you have any better feeling of what maybe your issue is on defense?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a combination of the two, and that's the thing too is, and I told them, I mean, this isn't going to be a point to where we panic, we start pointing fingers, we start doing all kinds of stuff within this program. This is a time that within these walls we have to come together and collectively get some things fixed. And I think that's a combination of what you just said, right? Is realizing, where our personnel is and then realizing what our scheme is. And then just taking a hard look at it and seeing, hey, is there a better position that we can put these guys in? Whether that's alignment, whether that's technique, there's a bunch of different things, right, that go into that make football fit together. And so yeah, I would say, just to answer your question simply, would be a combination.
Yeah, because you've gone to this 3-3-5 scheme when do you have the personnel to run that? The big enough linemen and the linebackers who are big enough to play in that kind of system? Do you feel like the pieces fit at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I think just naturally, even for a 4 down right now, I think that we're a little small on the defensive side, just for any kind of defense that you're going to play. And so yeah, I think and we want to be able to stop the run. Then we got to be able to play some man coverage behind it and feel good that we can match up on the outside and play some bump and run coverage and lock these guys up so they don't throw it over our head. So the picture, I mean, the puzzle's got to fit all the way together, right? And so yeah, I mean, I think we have some D linemen. Now, do we have just a stable of them? I mean, we've been a little banged up there, so I would say just the depth right now and the people that have played games is not. But we've had some guys come along. I mean, Marcus Moore's a kid that came in and took a lot of snaps off of Rod inside there at nose and did some nice things and forced a fumble and was active in there and did his job a bunch of times. So yeah, it's it's something where have we recruited to this scheme for the last 3 or 4 years? I would say not.
One guy that really stands out that he hasn't made the amount of big plays that he did last year is Mason at defensive end. Is that one of those issues where maybe he moved to a different spot where maybe he's a little smaller for that spot and isn't getting the opportunities to make plays that maybe he did in the past?
Maybe. I mean, he's played the edge too. I mean, we put him in some true pass rushing situations, and so yeah, just to kind of repeat what I said earlier, like if we have guys that have skill sets that are good for one particular thing, then as coaches, that's our job to find where we can utilize that the best within kind of what we're doing, and that's something that we'll continue to do. Like, I mean, we're not gonna not try to find ways to get them to make plays for us.
Wanted to ask you about quarterbacks. Obviously, Chandler comes in against FIU, very efficient passing, looks pretty good. Just what went into the decision to kind of stick with Stone going forward, even though he was kind of benched there in the second half?
Yeah, Stone cramped up when we came out from halftime, and so they took him out and tried to get him back hydrated, and so thought Chandler did a phenomenal job. Came in, didn't have time to warm up, didn't have time to do anything. Kind of was like 30 seconds before we were going out there, and Stone cramps up. So that was good. And to echo your point, I think you can tell there's a little bit of a calmness to Chandler. You can tell he's played a lot of football, and he wasn't rattled or bothered. And I thought he did a nice job being extremely efficient. And you look at the big point that I thought in this game is I thought he protected the football, and that was good. And so I don't think anything's set in stone who we're going to run out there first this week, and I think both of those guys have done some good things and then some negative things. But I think Chandler kind of showed when the lights came on that second half. I think that, just like you said, I thought he had nice accuracy. I thought he had some nice touch on some deep balls. He made some great reads. He got the ball out of his hand quick. A couple things he'd like to have back here and there. But yeah, I mean, I think that we have two guys that have operated this offense at a high level at times this year. And those two guys, we got to figure out which one gives us the better chance to win.
So would you describe it as a platoon situation at this point?
Yeah, I think so. And it's not going to be the one thing I don't like is, I want to have this thing figured out here going forward. I don't like going back and forth, and I'm a rhythm guy at quarterback and think that the more reps they get, the more they see. And so had no, the one thing that was awesome is we start going over the script. And kind of figuring out if there's something he didn't have enough reps at the last week. And he looked us in the eye and said, "Coach, call anything you want on that thing." And so, good peace of mind. He's prepared the right way. I think that shows his character, what kind of person he is, what kind of teammate he is. And it was true. I didn't hesitate or balk at one call, thinking about if he got enough reps at it, and thought that he executed the calls, in a really good way.
All right,
Can we talk a little about Louisiana Tech here?
couple more, yep.
So what do you see in Louisiana Tech?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I've known Coach Cumbie forever. Obviously, we were teammates together. We've coached together. I think he's building a program and is doing a nice job of it, right? I think that they're a lot better this year than they were on defense as opposed to last year. And two, just looking at it, just the course of history, right? I'm a history guy. I mean, I think in the last 5 games we're 1-4 against them. So, this is a team that definitely is getting every bit of our attention. I played him against this defensive coordinator before when he was at Stephen F. Austin, does a phenomenal job, gives exotic looks. I think they have some really good players on the back end that they brought with them from Stephen F. Austin. I mean, I think Miles Hurd is as good a safety as we've played all year long. And then you look, kind of on the offensive side of the ball, they've been able to establish a running game. They've been able to be pretty efficient there. And two, they got some running backs, but then, they have a young freshman that came in last week, number 21, that did a phenomenal job and was able to continue to run the ball once he got a little bit more reps. I think they're explosive at wideout. They have experience offensive line-wise. And so, anytime you go to Ruston, it's going to be it's always been a challenging place to play. And so we'll have our hands full there. I mean, they'll be geared up, they'll be fired up, they'll be intense. Coach Cumbie does a phenomenal job at motivating, and so it'll be a dogfight, and we don't expect anything less, and we're excited to go in there and compete our tails off.
And the last thing I wanted to ask you about was Ethan Wisłowski made a couple plays for you on defense, and he's a coach's kid. I mean, what have you seen from him as he's progressed and gotten more into playing for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's good, is really good, and then there's some stuff in there where you can tell he's still making some freshman mistakes, and so second play of the game, makes a mistake and gives up an easy one to him, and then but you're right, like there's times when he knows what he's doing and he's pulling the trigger. Like, I mean, the kid has a chance to be really, really good linebacker around here for a long time. So super excited about the future of him, his future here. I think all that, he's been around football forever, and he's just a sports guy. I mean, his brothers, they're all good baseball players, they're good football players. They've kind of done it all, and I think that he understands the game, and it'll keep slowing down to him. And so same thing with a bunch of these young guys like Stone. I mean, the game is happening, a little bit fast, and you can tell his footwork is a little bit fast at times. Like as time goes and these guys get more of these game reps, it'll continue to slow down for them.
All right, cool. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, Damon. So, just how have you guys gone about regrouping after the FIU game?
Just getting back to work, just with the guys and just resetting really. We're not defined by, loss and stuff like that, even though it's unfortunate, just continuing to build on our days during the week and just continue to make progress.
Dropped 39 points. That's 18 more than week 1. Just kind of scoring more and being more effective on offense, just kind of help the confidence of the team a little bit.
Yeah, for sure, because we got an explosive offense. So just continue to continue shooting ourselves in the foot. We'll score a lot of points, but just keep building on the things that we've been doing and just continue trying to make it successful.
You guys kind of need to get something going here during this stretch to give yourselves a chance to get to where you want to go this season.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You just want to build the positive momentum. We talked about that as a team. So just continue to build that positive momentum and trusting the guys and trusting the scheme and the positions that the coaches put us in to be successful.
What do you see in Louisiana Tech now that you had a chance to study?
I mean, they're a pretty good team. I mean, it's not about the team that we play, though. It's always about us and just us executing the game plan that we put in that week. So that's really it.
Ruston has kind of been a difficult place for the team to go to the last few years.
Can you say it again?
Ruston has kind of been a difficult place for the team to go the last few years. Just what is the mindset going into there?
Just going and handle business, just to get a win, and just to celebrate with the guys so we can, because we know we got the potential to go out there and do the things that we need to do. It's just how I said about us not shooting ourselves in the foot and just executing the game plan.
What do you see in Louisiana Tech?
You just asked
Oh,
me.
wait. I forgot to check that one off. Sorry, my bad. You guys ran it against them really well last year, 475 yards. Is there anything you guys can take away from that as you go into this game?
Just with the game plan and stuff, just getting our best playmakers in space, and just letting us do what we do. Playmakers make plays, so that's all. Just trusting the game plan.
Hey, Ridge, so you guys have Louisiana Tech this week. How do you guys regroup going into this game?
Just get back in the film room, correct what we did wrong, and just learn to execute. I know we've been giving up a lot of stuff, but we just got to learn to execute, read our keys, and we'll be good going into this week.
So what's been the problem defensively? You guys are, had a kind of a rough go these first 2 weeks of the season. What is it that's kind of preventing you guys from getting to where you want to go?
I think it's just like knowing our keys, reading our keys, and executing what the defense is called to do. So just looking at film, it's the little things that we're doing wrong that's turning into big plays. So I feel like we just start focusing on the little things, tackling, fitting the right gaps. Everything will come together eventually.
So there's really no way to like improve tackling. So just kind of what have y'all been doing to kind of address that at practice to try and get it a little better?
We've been doing a lot more tackling drills, pre-practice, a lot more wrapping up, even in shells, and even when we're in spotters, we wrapping up, making sure we wrap up, because that's really been the problem. We haven't been wrapping up. We just been throwing our shoulder, throwing our body. So that's really what we've been focusing on, just wrapping up. And really, tackling is just locking in and just giving effort. So getting more effort.
You guys having a tough time adjusting to the scheme a little bit?
I don't believe so. I think we know our scheme. Like, we know what comes with it. We know, like, our keys. But like I said, just got to execute the scheme.
You guys have the right pieces to run this
Yeah.
system, you think?
I trust my teammates. I believe we got everybody that can run this defense perfectly. We just got to execute.
Picked off the ball a couple of times with Phil Hill and Jalen Smith there at FIU. Just how important is kind of forcing turnovers for this defense going forward?
It's big. We gotta win the turnover battle every week. We know if we win the turnover battle, we should most likely win the game. So we got to do an even better job of creating more turnovers and helping the offense.
It's kind of being more aggressive for going for turnovers. Could that make up for different issues that are on defense?
Yeah, I mean, when we caused turnovers, I mean, they scored right out the gate, but when we started locking in and forcing turnovers, it made it a lot easier for us to stay calm and just make plays, and it brought more energy.
Is that a key part of this defense playing in the 3-3-5 is just creating those big plays and those turnovers and sacks?
Yeah, definitely, but we also know we got to stop the run too, so it goes hand in hand, but turnovers overrule everything, I believe, so we got to keep focusing on that and on the run.
Why are you guys struggling so much to stop the run?
Executing, not executing.
And does this become a special game for you just because your dad played at Louisiana Tech?
Yeah, for sure. He'll be there. I know some of my family will be there from Louisiana. So I always like going back to Louisiana and playing against that state. Just it's gonna be a good game, big game.
You have any memories of Louisiana Tech from growing up? Were you old enough to remember?
I wasn't born when he was there.
Yeah.
So I really didn't have no connection to Louisiana Tech, but we done been to some games before I came here, so yeah.
What do you remember about going to?
I just remember the campus. I know the campus has changed a little bit from whenever I have visited a couple times. That's about it.
What has your dad told you heading into this game?
Just to make plays, just prove a point, continue to keep a chip on my shoulder and prove a point, and to beat him. Like, he went to La Tech, but he wanted me to win too.
So he's going to be pulling for you guys tonight as alma mater?
Oh yeah.